Generation X. In general terms, those born between 1965 and 1980. Latchkey kids. Independent. Existentialism. Modern philosophy focusing on personal experience, human ability, and responsibility in an otherwise meaningless universe. We're the cause. This is the effect. We're the Gen Existentialists. Welcome in, my friends, to the Gen Existentialist podcast. My name is Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
And we are here to tickle your ears and other anatomical items with
Tickle
our
your tonsils.
with our with our witty banter here on the Gen Existentialist.
Classy banter.
And you've got papers in your hand.
I
That's
do.
kind of scary.
We're gonna do a rapid fire right now.
Oh my God, I'm getting hit with a rapid fire.
It's the list of political scandals from the past that you Gen Xers should be all familiar with. So
dear
what's
God.
your favorite political scandal,
My
Scott?
favorite. Okay.
Watergate or the Iran-Contra affair?
Iran-Contra.
Jimmy Carter or Ronald Reagan?
Carter.
Margaret Thatcher or Mikhail Gorbachev?
Fuck Margaret Thatcher, Gorbachev.
Reaganomics or trickle-down economics? We know you love those.
Jesus Christ. They're the same thing. Reaganomics.
The Cape David Accords or the fall of the Berlin Wall?
Camp David, no, I'll go Berlin Wall.
Okay. Nixon resignation or Clinton impeachment?
The Clinton impeachment was so much fun.
Gulf War or Vietnam War protests? Sorry.
Gulf War.
Read my lips, no new taxes, or I'm not a crook?
Oh, I'm not a crook.
Carter's energy crisis or Reagan's morning in America?
Energy crisis.
Cold War tensions or post-Cold War optimism?
Cold War tensions.
All right. Why the tensions? Is this an edgelord thing?
No, I think because the world made more sense then. Post-Cold War, it's like, and this is going back to like dystopian novels, like make sure you have an enemy and focus everything on that enemy. When we had the Cold War, the enemy was communism. The enemy was the USSR, and it made life simple. You knew who the quote-unquote enemy is. Post-Cold War, the world kind of exploded into a bunch of different enemies. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just two sides. It's like everybody's a different front of some kind. It's that
nebulous thing. Now it's the war on terror, whatever that is.
Yeah, and it's become very much more like a situation like, are you at war with... like which faction from 1984, which of the three are we at war with today? And it changes, it shifts. Who's the big enemy now? Just like politically, who's the big opponent this week? So it just made life simpler.
Not a Margaret Thatcher fan.
No.
Okay.
No.
You
like
think she looked hot in her business suits?
No, like the union busting stuff, and just she was an awful person in every way, shape, and form. And granted, that's coming from me who grew up in the United States, who's a United States citizen. I didn't have a horse in the race.
Well, that doesn't stop
Thatcher.
British and Australian people from commenting on our politics.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But yeah, Margaret Thatcher, the world and the UK would have been much better off if she had never been born.
Wow, all right.
Awful person.
Sexy.
Damn.
So let's Sisypheanly push that mega wheel up the hill.
Oh, no, you're getting a rapid fire.
Oh, I got to get a rapid fire, too?
Yeah,
oh, no.
Yeah, and since I didn't even get to pick a number, let's see.
Yeah, you just pick whichever one you want. Please bear with us while we work
perfect.
Turkey out.
No, this is absolutely perfect. Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, boy.
And some of these are going to be tough for you, to pick. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo or Flintstones?
Scooby-Doo.
Smurfs or Jetsons?
Smurfs.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Love me some Smurfs.
Transformers or G.I. Joe?
G.I. Joe.
Really?
Yes.
That surprises the hell out of me. He-Man or Thundercats?
I don't like either one of them, but I'll go with He-Man.
Okay. Looney Tunes or Tom and Jerry?
Hate them both.
What?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to go with Tom and Jerry on that one, though.
Well, at least you made the right pick. We're gonna discuss this.
Okay.
DuckTales or Darkwing Duck?
DuckTales. Teenage
Mutant Ninja Turtles or Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters.
Captain Planet or Inspector Gadget?
Captain Planet. I hate them both, too. Those are some bad cartoons right there.
Muppet Babies or Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
And the final one, if I can get the paper turned here.
Oh, boy.
Voltron or Robotech?
Robotech.
Really?
Yeah.
I am so surprised by some of these, like literally. Scooby-Doo or Flintstones? You went Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, of course.
See, I would have gone Flintstones.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure why. It's because Scooby-Doo had such a precipitous fall once Scrappy-Doo was introduced.
True. Yeah.
And the Flintstones never had that. The Flintstones
you don't
was
think
just...
they had it when they had Pebbles and Bam Bam and all that?
No, because they were brought in because they were a tandem. It wasn't just like one added.
Okay.
And they had some of their own storylines. They weren't just like peripheral characters.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that was done much better.
All right.
I think the writing on the Flintstones was much I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Smurfs and Jets. You went Smurfs.
I went Smurfs. Yeah.
See, the Jetsons, that view of the future.
The
I would have thought
Jetsons was just the Flintstones in space.
Exactly.
So it's we've seen it, we've done it, but Smurfs, I love it. I don't know why. It's so quintessentially 80s, even though
True.
the Smurfs have been around since like the 60s or whatever in Europe. But
and see, I like both, but I would have gone Jetsons.
Okay.
So Transformers or G.I. Joe? You went G.I. Joe.
I did. I could never stand the Transformers cartoon.
Really?
No. Talk about just, it was just kind of a mess to me for some reason. I was never that invested in Transformers.
Okay. And the G.I. Joe cartoon was very good.
The G.I. Joe cartoon was funny.
Yeah.
It was one of those things. It had some of my favorite villains.
Yeah.
And it was just goofy.
Yeah. And literally, how can you shoot so much and nobody ever get hit or hurt?
That's true.
Just amazing.
It's amazing that you can jump out of a firing wreck of a plane while it's falling out of the sky and your parachute's just fine. Yeah.
He-Man or Thundercats? You went He-Man.
I did just
I
because
expected Thundercats.
I like the villains better in He-Man.
Okay.
I'm a
Makes
Skeletor
sense.
fan. I'm a Triclops fan.
Gotcha.
I'm a Trapjaw fan. So.
Okay. Okay, so your comment on Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry's that you don't like either one.
I detest both of them. Like, I hated every Saturday morning. They seemed to just keep recycling the same Looney Tunes over and over again. They gave it like a different title, like every other year. It was like the Looney Tunes Poop Show Hour. Oh, the Looney Tunes Mega Saturday Hour. It was like, it's the same old shitty cartoons, man. And it was cartoons that my dad got a really big kick out of because he grew up during them.
Sure. Yeah.
And I thought the humor just didn't land for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing for me.
It was very anachronistic, I guess.
Yeah, it was.
Especially for kids our age.
And Tom and Jerry was just
awesome.
So formulaic and overdone.
So good. So wonderful.
The
Tom
Zoot
and Jerry.
Suit episode was the best one. Is you is or is you ain't my baby. Yeah, that was the best one.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff was fantastic. DuckTales, Mutant Ninja. Obviously Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has nothing
and that
on
was just
Ghostbusters.
out of my... And that was about the point where I started falling off being interested in anything like that. When Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out, that was for a younger Gen X generation, not me. You know.
Yeah. It was geared behind us age-wise. Yeah, absolutely agree on that one. So, should we give Mega-Wheel of Magnificence a spin finally? She's mad at us now. She's been ignored for way too long. So, Meg is spinning. And I love doing the rapid fires. Those are kind of fun.
Fun stuff.
So, our first question from Mega-Wheel, and this makes sense. She's angry at us. Is knowledge a burden or a power?
Both.
No, there's an or in there.
Mm-hmm. Well,
sorry.
It's definitely more of a power than a burden.
Yeah.
Because without the fuel of knowledge, you can't figure out any problems.
True.
You know, it's very hard to work your way out of a problem just being naive and dumb.
Yeah.
And walking your way out of the maze just magically. So, yeah, I mean, you were talking in a previous episode about childhood, and you miss your innocence, and you miss just being able to sit and turn your brain off. That's what I mean. That's where knowledge can be a burden.
Yeah.
Is where you're constantly worried about the future and things that are out of your control or things that you have no way of changing the course of worrying about the weather, etc.
Right. Yeah.
You know, there's that naivety of not having that knowledge where you can just sit and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, sir, you can surgically remove some of that from your brain, metaphorically, of course. You know, you can take some of that burdensome knowledge and pull it out of your head and get rid of it if you like. So it's quite possible. I'm
almost afraid to ask. Here's the thing. I think knowledge is always a power. Mm-hmm. The more you know, the better off you are. Yo, Joe. The only time knowledge becomes a burden is if it's knowledge that you are unable to share because it is a quote-unquote secret, or because it is so esoteric that you know the people you're dealing with are just not going to get it. That's where knowledge can be a burden, that you have it and others don't. I think that's why I don't like dealing with children, is I don't like having to... Here's the thing. There are a lot of things that I talk about sometimes that I have to cater to the audience to whom I'm speaking. But I don't dumb it down. I just change the words that I use to make it a little bit more palatable and digestible. When you're talking to children, though, you have to, quote unquote, dumb it down to a level that they, at whatever point they're at developmentally, are going to be able to grasp. And I've always found that burdensome. So I never wanted to be like a low grades teacher. I never wanted to be a low grade teacher either. If I was going to teach, and this was my plan when I started college, was to be a high school English teacher. Well, history first, then English. And I think that's the thing with knowledge. It's hard to share unless you're at a close to equitable level. And so my hat's off. If you're a teacher and you teach like preschool or elementary school, or especially like junior high school, you're doing the saints' work there, because I don't even know how you do that. I don't know how our teachers did that with us. I don't know how my aunt did it, because she taught 7th grade English for years, and I don't understand it. So that's where knowledge is a burden for me, when you have to try and get it across to people that maybe literally don't have the ability due to their youth to understand it. How do you bring those people up? So that's my take on it. Shall we give the wheel another spin?
Sure.
And here we go. I love removing these questions every time
Me
they
too.
pop up.
Some of these are bad.
Yeah, some are just bloody awful.
Yeah, don't you just think like junior high years, they should just let the kids go feral and run wild and then come back when they're a little more mature, like high school years?
I'm not sure that they didn't. I mean, I remember our 2 years at Twenhoffel. It was
like
just
being in an open air penitentiary.
Yeah, it was just like literally the worst 2 years I can possibly imagine.
I blocked so much of that out of my mind. I can't even remember half the stuff that went on those 2 years. So. Yeah,
it was just, and you know what? Had some great teachers, met some cool people, but for the most part, it was just so awful. Okay, so next question. Which men's wellness trend or product have you tried that was actually worth the hype or was a total miss?
Wow, men's wellness trend.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what that's talking about. I don't know that I've ever tried anything.
Yeah, I don't know either, because I take so little care of myself. You know, it's like my wife was having a conversation with a coworker the other day, and the coworker was shocked that my wife never used a hairdryer. Like, she doesn't use it.
I will not. I hate, loathe hot air blowing on me.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. If I'm in the front seat of a car with you, like we're going somewhere and it's winter out, I will close the vents on my side. Okay. Just that feeling of hot air blowing on me, hate it.
Huh. Wow.
So yeah, me and hair dryers, nope. Nope.
So I mean that's sort of that's not even a wellness trend. That's just a
grooming
hygiene
thing,
something. Or something. Yeah. I'm trying to think of a wellness trend. I'm sold on Waterpiks now. If that's if that's something, I don't think that's really a men or a women's.
Well,
subject,
I tell you, like
dental
health. When here's the thing. from the time I was a little kid until I married Tracy and we moved down south, I saw the same dentist. When we moved back up here in 2014, started going back to the same dentist, and now it was his son that has slowly been taking over the practice. But when I went in for the first time, one of the things the hygienist told me is, hey, you should get an electric toothbrush. And of course, I'd seen them. We'd all seen them and been kind of interested. But when she explained, like, this is why, this is what you do, blah, 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 I got one. And I'll never go back. Wow. Because all the, you go in for your 6-month dental thing.
It's
and
not
they
that
do
Rotodent thing, is it?
It's an Oral-B.
Okay.
It spins. And
right.
But the thing is, there was a lot of picking and tartar and stuff. Never had a lot of cavities, knock on wood. I haven't had a cavity in decades. But a lot of picking and tartar and stuff. Since I started using that electric toothbrush, my dental visits, my cleanings are like 10 minutes. Done.
Listen to where Mega sent us.
Yeah. Dental hygiene with the Gen Existentialists.
Yeah, a couple of old biddies talking about going to the dentist.
Yeah, I cannot recommend enough an electric toothbrush. It will change your life if used properly. Your dental visits, if you're sitting in the chair for like 20 minutes or a half hour and they're doing all the picking and it's all uncomfortable, switch to an electric toothbrush. Use it as directed. Your dental visits will be just compressed. So much easier, so much smaller, so much better.
I recommend a Waterpik because it's such mayhem. Because if it slips out of your mouth or whatever, the water is shooting all over the bathroom, all over the mirror. Like I'm hitting you in the face. It's a good time. It's a real...
Do you have to wear safety glasses or goggles?
You probably should, because that water hurts when it hits you, baby. So.
I mean,
let's give her a spin.
Are those? I'm still stuck on the wellness trends.
Yeah, if you know of any recent men's wellness trends, let us know, because we could probably use them.
What were those things years ago? Shake weights and shit like that. I don't even know what we're getting at.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what men do. Is this like Grecian formula or something?
Yeah, I don't know. So we are spinning Mega-Wheel of Magnificence, trying to come up with a decent topic for once. Okay. This will be interesting. Describe your top 3 favorite desserts.
Ooh, top 3 favorite desserts. Don't know if a donut is considered as a dessert.
Sure,
but I love me a sprinkle donut. I like the cake donuts, not the airy ones, but the nice dense cake donuts.
Does it matter what color the icing is that the sprinkles
not necessarily.
are on?
No.
Okay. For any Dresden Files fans, I hope you caught the reference. It's got to be white icing with sprinkles.
Okay. No reason to bring race into it now. I love a good German chocolate cake.
Okay.
Something nice and dense and bitter. Like me.
Who would have guessed?
Boy, yeah. You think this would be easier. Maybe a whatchamacallit bar.
Okay.
Like a candy bar, like a whatchamacallit. That's probably in my top 3 if I had a bunch of stuff sitting in front of me.
And absolutely one of the best candy bars
it's
right
true.
there, the whatchamacallit.
How about you, sir?
Top 3 favorite desserts. Creme brulee.
Oh, well. Okay.
Tops. Don't get to have it very often, but it's always just a primo thing. Pumpkin pie. Fresh with just an inordinate amount of whipped cream. It can be, especially if it's homemade whipped cream that has a lot of taste to it.
So when you say fresh pumpkin pie, do you mean like hot out of the oven pumpkin pie, or like?
No, I mean cold, but not bought from a store.
All right.
But like actually mixed and made at home.
Nice.
Spiced yourself. We were in Georgetown maybe 2 or 3 years, and we had pumpkins for Halloween. And we kept them. We brought them in, cooked them, and we made some pumpkin pies. And the amount of effort was just ungodly. It took a lot. But those pies were fucking amazing.
Ooh.
They were absolutely out of this world. And I got all the pumpkin seeds. I was able to roast those with some salt, and those are fantastic too. So this year, coming up in the fall, think about it. Your pumpkins you get, think about keeping them, turn them into pies once you're done with the jack-o'-lanterns. So that's 2, and number 3, I would probably go by going out to Grater's and getting a salted caramel cone.
Oh, okay.
Because there is no better ice cream out there than Grater's salted caramel.
All right.
That is the dessert of choice. Absolutely.
So going with regional desserts, what's your feeling on Derby pie?
I have no idea what Derby pie is. What?
Oh, Derby pie, created around the Kentucky Derby,
which is coming up
Lexington.
Next week.
Oh, in a while.
Yeah,
and pretty soon. Yeah, it's chocolate and graham crackers, like chocolate chips and graham crackers and like a pecan sort of filling and all that. It's really good.
I've never even heard of it.
If you're around the Kentucky way, and it's around Derby season, I think that's what makes it really good, is that it's so ephemeral.
No, yeah.
It's like you got one window there to get your piece of Derby pie, and then it's gone, baby, until next year. So I hope you live
It's
that
like
long.
the McRib.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
No, I'd never heard of that.
Definitely seek it out if you can.
That's cool. Can I give you an honorable mention for desserts? Sure. Because sometimes, like, if you're just, home with my folks, like going back to, years ago, sometimes, there wasn't a dessert because my parents both worked. We'd have dinner, and sometimes just those like vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate like wafer cookies.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes just having a package of those and having a couple of those for dessert was just so simple and yet so perfect.
My wife makes fun of me. I was buying those a while ago.
Oh, they're amazing.
She calls them grandpa cookies. She's like,
what?
Did you get your grandpa cookies?
Wait a minute. I take umbrage with that.
Take it up with my lovely wife.
They can't be grandpa cookies. I mean,
because that's what old people buy, apparently, and they eat them in the old folks' home or at hospitals for the dessert.
They shouldn't give them people in hospitals or old folks' homes because they're very crumbly. I mean, you just leave crumbs everywhere, which is why they're perfect for kids, because you expect kids to leave crumbs everywhere.
Kids are crumb bums.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we will give Meg one more spin for this episode and see what we can come up with to take us out, to take us home today. And our final question is, if you could receive one small package this very moment, who would it be from and what would be in it?
I'd like to get a small package from my grandfather right now, and it would be a cassette tape with all the stories he used to tell me when I was a little kid.
That's awesome.
That'd be it.
That's absolutely awesome.
How about you?
Nothing as profound as that. I'd like to receive a small package with a couple new sets of strings because we're going into the studio next weekend and I need to change strings on a couple of my basses.
Yeah, see, that's a little more attainable.
Yeah, well, it's very ephemeral. It's nothing compared to yours, which was just incredible and awesome.
Well, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I always want what I can't have. You'll learn this about me.
And on that note, we will let you go. This has been the Gen Existentialist. Thank you for listening. My name's Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
We'll catch you next time. Have a good one.